Hello everybody, this is Painted Black. As you can see, this is a new build I've been working on in Lewna's world in Minecraft. This is in one of another of these 7, not 6, unique member worlds. This is called the Big Flat, and I pretty much built this in an area of the Big Flat that is kind of isolated, that no one's really built near. So what this is, if you're curious, as you can see, it's an aircraft, a transportation aircraft to be sure. You can already see the seating here, and the overhead compartments, and of course the luggage storage. But specifically, I am building my own version of a Concorde, and I am aiming to build this as true to spec as possible. This right here is the main fuselage, as you can see. This here, point here, it's open, so we go down so you can see it. This is the main flight deck door, and from this point all the way back here to the rear bulkhead of the aircraft is 129 blocks. Rear bulkhead right here. It's 129 blocks long, and as you can see, it's pretty much a giant tube. This particular tube pattern, I used kind of an elliptical shape because that's pretty much what the spec called for. By the way, all the numbers that I'm gonna shell out here in this video are true to spec. If they aren't perfectly true to spec, they're like a block's worth of difference, and I made those changes either for practical or aesthetic reasons. Most of them were made for practical reasons. Getting back to the tube design, as I just told you, it goes all the way down 129 blocks. This right here is the main pattern. As you can see, it's basically, this is a 9 radius, and this is another 9 radius, and then from here to here is 11 blocks. So it's 11 blocks high total. So pretty much you fill out one of your 9s, you know, 1, 2, all the way up to 11. You fill out the other 9 once you reach that 11 point, and then you fill in right here, and boom, there's your radius. And you just extend it all the way down. And then once you've done extending it all the way down, you fill in the flooring right here. As you can see, I doubled down on the flooring, pretty much to account for the carpeting. And then, obviously, once I finished the basic shape, then I did these alterations right here to allow for the overhead compartments. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple design for the main fuselage, and this is going to be the bulk of your aircraft. Sorry, I'm still thinking about my pirate ship build. But yeah, so this is going to be the bulk of your aircraft, this giant tube, because that's pretty much all a transport aircraft is a tube with wings. So the wings now, as you can see, the wings of a Concorde, to me, I think that the wing pattern of a Concorde and the nose pattern are really, for me, are really what stands out as making this a really gorgeous aircraft, which is exactly why I made this, why I'm working on this, is because I think this is just so beautiful. It's going to be so beautiful when it's done. But anyway, this total length here, the total wingspan, and that's including the fuselage width, is 83 blocks. Again, true to spec. But as I just told you, this is 9 blocks, so I had to take 83 minus 9, which is 74, and then I took 74 and divided it by 2, which is 37. And so the actual length, the actual span of each individual wing is from here to all this point right here is 37. And then the length of the wing from this point here all the way down the main fuselage to this point here is 91. And I actually added a length, increased the length by 1 block, and that's for aesthetic reasons. And yeah, so 91 there, 37 there, and then that was easy, and then I just took me forever trying to get this pattern right. I pretty much eyeballed this. I looked at the basic, shape of it, and I tried to get it as best I could. And yeah, it's not perfect, but I think I did a fairly good job. You should certainly be able to tell it's a Concorde when it's done. And that's really the whole point of it. So yeah. So again, these are all true to spec. Basically, what I did is, since the actual specs call for measurements in feet, but in Minecraft, our blocks are not in feet; they're in meters. They're meter blocks. So I had to change that a bit. And so basically what I did is I just took the same numbers in feet and I put them in meters. And I just built it like so. And it actually, like I said, it's turning out quite gorgeous. So yeah. And now, so I'm going to repeat myself again, but if you remember, from, the front end over here to this point right here, the rear bulkhead, is 129 blocks. That leaves me with this tail right here. And to get the tail just right, I had to, again, I had to play with some aesthetics. And that's pretty much how I came up with this. I haven't filled it in yet, but that's pretty much how I came up with this. It's entirely aesthetic reasons. But this, from this entire length, from this black wool right here all the way to the furthest point of the tail, is 22 blocks. So 129 plus 22 puts us at 151. So that actually does leave me with a lot of realistic room to work with the nose. But yeah, so this is total of 151 from that point to the main flight deck door. This is where the fin is going to be, and the fin is 35 blocks long, again true to spec, and it's going to be about 24-25 blocks high, depending on what's practical. Maybe 26, but yeah, probably 24-25. So yeah, it's going to go high and then do the fin shape here. And then yeah. So if you remember what I told you about the fuselage length, or the entire length so far, counting the main fuselage, from here all the way to the furthest point of the tail, as I said, was 151 blocks. The actual desired length of this entire thing, from the furthest point of the tail to the furthest point of the nose, is 202 blocks. So that leaves me with 51 blocks to work with. As you can see, I've already decided how I'm going to allocate those 51 blocks. I'm building the nose, again, true to spec. The actual specs call for 24 feet, or in this case, 24 blocks. So I'm going to, I'll probably work on the aesthetics of the nose as well. But that leaves me then, so I had to take basically subtract that 24 blocks out of the 51 that I need. And that leaves me with 27 blocks left to allocate the rest of the front end of the ship and the cockpit. Now, or the aircraft and the cockpit. Now, your cockpits, and I've actually visited if not an actual cockpit, a replica of an actual cockpit for one of these, and it is very tight fit. And in fact, cockpits in general are not, they're not big areas. So I'm probably going to allocate about 7 blocks for the cockpit. That leaves me with 20 blocks left. And pretty much the remaining 20 blocks are just going to be a duplicate of what you see back here. As you can see, I'm going through the main flight deck. I actually I'm going to briefly digress. I actually modeled this or designed this just like the interior of an actual Concorde. The blue carpeting and all that. The only main difference is an actual Concorde has grayish seats, and we don't have grayish material to make realistic seats out of. So I used nether brick instead because I like the look of them versus wood. So, but yeah, this looks like the inside of an actual Concorde. So now from this point here, from this point here all the way to the rear bulkhead is something like 20 blocks. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this at the front end. And what goes here are going to be like lavatories and snack areas. Basically like where the flight attendants would get the in-flight snacks to bring them out to the passengers. So yes, what you just saw back there is pretty much going to be duplicated up here. And then after that, there's going to be the wall, you know, that goes into the cockpit. So that's pretty much going to be the you know, the rest of the front and the cockpit. So you can kind of get a visual of what it's going to look like. And then after that is the 24 block nose. So the total length of this, and this is also true to spec, the total length of this from the furthest point of the nose to the furthest point of the tail is 202 blocks. So yes, like I said, I'm building this as accurately to specification as I can. And when I'm done with it, I will probably include, if not immediately, certainly sometime afterwards, I'll probably include designs, like you know, blueprints and stuff about how to create this. It's not particularly complicated. Like for the fuselage, I'll probably include this, and then just say throw it back 129 blocks. But anyway, so yeah, pretty much that's what I've got so far. This is after about 6 hours of work, roughly. I probably spent about a good hour trying to figure out this wing design right here. This was probably the most, you know, it's probably the most agonizing part about building this was the wing shape. And it's still nowhere near perfect, but I mean, it does follow the general pattern, which is like a gradual increase. So you get to about here, and then there's like a sharp slope, and then it kind of swings in. Yeah. So, I mean, that's, you know, that's the basic shape. So. But yeah, so pretty much what I'm going to do after I post this video is I'm going to do a time lapse of me finishing the rest of the exterior, filling in the wings, doing the tail, doing the fin, and finishing out the front with the nose and all. And yeah, I'm going to include a time lapse of that because the reason why I decided to do a time lapse is because as I was building or finishing my pirate ship, it was just about done when someone threw the idea of, hey, are you going to do a time lapse of it? And no, that's a good idea. I didn't say that, but that's what I thought. That's a good idea. So for this one, I'm going to build a time lapse. Or I'm going to do a time lapse video. I'm not going to do a time lapse video of me doing this entirely. I want to give myself a basic starting point, but I pretty much got the easy part done before doing the video. So I'm going to do a time lapse of me doing the harder parts. So yeah. But anyway, once this is done, yes, this is another thing you can visit anytime in Lewna's world. It's not going to be quite as interactive and fun, but I wanted to build this aircraft anyway because I've personally always thought that the Concorde is, I mean, of all the transportation aircraft designs, the Concorde is hands down the most gorgeous. And I've always just been in love with the design. And the interior is very pretty. It's simple, but very, 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 very pretty. So, yes, I've pretty much had a crush on the Concorde aircraft for a long time, and I've never gotten to fly on one. It was first flown in, I think, 1979, and it was discontinued in the early 2000s. So yes, I never got to fly on it, but now that I have Minecraft, I can build my own Concorde, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, but yeah, so you know, wait for the time lapse video. It should be showing up sometime. I'm not going to promise when, because I have no clue how long it's going to take me to do it. But yeah, so look for a time-lapse video at some point. And until then, keep building, have fun, and take care. Bye-bye.